It's time once again to slip into your camo, grab your bow, and join us out in the field for another episode of the Up North Journal, presented by PSE Archery. The Up North Journal crew is knocked and ready to rock for another exciting adventure. So let's step outside and hit the trail.
This episode is brought to you by PSE Archery,
Black Eagle Arrows,
Cabela's,
Antler Action,
Spot Shooter Archery,
Tom's Custom Turkey Calls,
Family Traditions Tree Stands,
and Badass Slingshots.
I shoot PSE because I like one pin to 40 yards.
I shoot PSE for the perfect combination of feel and performance.
I shoot PSE because you can shoot lighter poundage and increase arrow speed.
I shoot PSE for the fastest bows on the planet.
I shoot PSE because my livelihood depends on my bow.
I shoot PSE because better engineering makes a better bow.
I shoot PSE.
I shoot PSE.
I shoot PSE. I shoot PSE.
Experience PSE. Experience performance.
We know the future of hunting depends on our nation's youth. But did you know that in many states, it's illegal for you to take your son or daughter hunting until the age of 12 or even older? As a result, we have fewer young hunters, and the Families Afield program is designed to eliminate those barriers. Hunting is safe, and the safest hunters afield are young people with adult mentors. Visit our website at familiesafield.org to find out how you can bring more families afield.
Welcome back to the Up North Journal Minicast.
Something you're going to hear in the next 3 to 10 minutes that you're not going to hear on our main cast at all. And you know what? That's good, because it's going to be something new to listen to every week on our minicast. So, hey, and this week we're talking procedures.
You having procedure done?
Yes, I am.
Oh, what do we haven't done?
The annual cleaning of the after the season gun season procedure.
Ah, cleaning your guns.
Cleaning your guns.
Okay.
Do you do it the same way every time, or do you willy-nilly it and just...
I generally have a procedure I go through, or
so do I, now that I think about it.
Through.
And you asked me that, and I was like, I guess I do. I like to use a gun vise.
You do? I don't have one.
Which I got a long time ago. And I remember when my brother would clean the guns on the kitchen table and lay them down, blah, blah, blah. I ended up getting a gun vise, and wow,
nice.
Wow, look at this. It stands right there for you. It sits right there. And no, you start out with getting that solvent down the barrel and trying to get that. It's nice and easy on a bolt action, because you can see nicely down that.
Absolutely.
You can see. Get that barrel nice and clean if there's any deposits. Start with the bore solvent. Brush if I have to.
You do brush? If you have to.
If I have to. I might run it down once or twice. I'll look to see how much powders you can see. So I'll start with the solvent, run the brush down with solvent, and then it's just a matter of swabbing it out.
Okay.
And like I said, with a bolt action on one of them, it's really nice. Just pulling it straight through and looking at it and trying to get that thing nice and shiny as you can. The semi-auto is a little different, but,
Same basic procedure.
Same basic procedure. Get the flashlight with a piece of paper and the light and look down there and shine it. And is that how you do yours?
I don't have a gun vise.
Okay.
I got a cleaning cloth. I'll roll it out either in the floor or on a table or a countertop. Depends on if Mama Bear's home or not. What I can get away with,
Absolutely.
Like today. Now we were shooting muzzle loaders out at the range today, and before we head up this week, we got to get them clean after you shoot them. Especially more so with a muzzle loader, with a black powder versus like a standard cartridge.
Oh yeah, absolutely. A lot more fouling.
Absolutely. So, but with a standard rifle or shotgun, usually I used to use a bore snake exclusively. I would.
Is the bore snake the flexible?
It's the one that's all like cloth. It's got a rope on it with a like a little metal weight. You drop that down the barrel, and when it comes out the other end, depending if you're pulling from the breech to the muzzle or the muzzle to the breech, whichever way you're doing it, you wrap it on your finger and you start pulling, give it a yank. But on the front end of that, there's embedded bristles like a brush.
Okay.
And then you've got the actual cloth of the snake afterwards, like rope.
Yep.
And it cleans it, just as clean as a whistle. Usually, you just if your gun's in good shape to begin with, and then I'll put spray a little rim oil on a rag, wipe it down good, and I'm all set.
I tell you what, that spray rim oil, what an invention.
Now, what I do, I used to use bore snakes exclusively. I kind of switched it up a couple of years ago, and now what I'm doing, I got a cleaning kit from Remington. It's a little bag. It's got brushes. It's got the little orange squeegees in them, and you put them on a wire link. You screw them into the base. It's got a handle that snaps on. You drop that cord or that wire down through, get your cord on there, and then after you spray I'll put Bore Bright down to begin with.
Okay.
To break everything loose. And then I'll squeegee that. I'll pull that squeegee through, and when it comes through, it cleans the bore and pulls all the fouling, all the Bore Bright and all out. And then, verify, check, make sure it's all clean.
It's a far cry from, and I still got them, the aluminum rods. And, and
patches.
And,
yeah.
Now that I think about it, I was remembering sliding it down and watching the aluminum particles come off the top of the barrel if you're too, I use it's from a Kit and Caboodle is what it's the brand name of it is, and kind of the same thing. It's a wire thing. It's got one end you screw in the handle, and the other end is you slip it through, and you put if it's going to be a brush or whatever, same thing. You just pull it through. And then, but you won that kit, that Remington kit.
Yeah,
a few years back. I remember that.
Yep.
And okay, so you got the gun cleaned.
Mm-hmm.
You use Rem oil. You at the last patch to go through. You just
actually I just give it a quick shot down the barrel.
Okay.
And as it stands, and I've heard pros and cons about that. A lot of guys talk about when you stand them up. Do you stand them barrel end
that's
up,
the
or
question.
do you stand them on the stock in
That's
the safe?
the question I was going to ask you.
Okay, so now you've got oil. If I spray it through the muzzle end, and you set it in the gun safe, and you have the barrel pointing up, so that little quick spritz of oil runs down the inside of the barrel.
Right.
And then if there's any extra residue, it's going to
pools at the bottom.
Yeah, in the action. So do you do that?
Or
does your action stay lubricated that way, or does it pull any debris down? There's all these different things. It's like, are we overthinking it?
I thought about that, and I was going to ask you how you did that because I knew somebody. I saw their gun case, and when I was younger, and it was exactly. I was like,
they're upside down.
Why are y'all guns upside down? He goes, well, because after I clean them. And at the bottom of the gun case, he had on each barrel was another rag.
Okay, so it absorbed any.
Right, and I'm like, he goes, well, that's I'm like, oh,
okay.
And then the years that I've had guns, and I've never really done that. I've just left them the way they were, and I've never had any problems. So
me either.
Maybe it's just that one extra little step of precaution.
Yeah, I don't know. I've heard people doing it
in a bolt action. I think it would actually kind of help in lube. Because it's going to seep through.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know.
But no, that's the procedure I go through. And just a couple of little inventions that they've come up with in the last years that help
Makes
you out.
it easier, quicker.
But I still, you know what? I hate to admit it, but there's nothing better
than the smell of Hoppies, number 9?
Hoppies, number 9. Holy cow. I remember that from when I was a kid to present day. I after my dad and my brother would come back from gun season, man, open that up and it smelled throughout the house, and they were cleaning the guns. Of course, they'd let me help. And
do you put a dab behind each ear like cologne?
No.
Just wondered.
I know, but yeah, that smell just memories.
Right on.
So,
muzzleloader, totally different story.
Oh yeah, muzzleloader is a totally different story.
I've got some bore solvent and bore butter, and I break the whole thing. I pull the gun completely apart, except for, I pull the bolt out, and then you got to pull the breech plug out. You got to pull the nipple out. You got to swab it all down. It's a mess.
It takes time. That's a timing thing. You can't do that. You really can't rush it, right?
No.
That's a.
It eats away at stuff. And the thing I really don't like, and Jacob he said they need to fix this. And anybody out there in the industry, here's a tip for you. If you want to make some money, come up with this. On your scopes, they sit on top of a muzzleloader. At least the ones we've got, like, we talked about in the main show. I don't like the ones we've got. I'm not going to say which brand they are, but I want to put some Vortex on them. But when the thing goes off and it goes bang and the smoke clears, well, you know that all that fouling does come out the back end, on the breech side of it somewhat, because there's a hole there for the primer, when it shoots the flash down the hole where the powder's at.
Yep.
So you're going to get some blowback. Well, all that stuff, that soot comes out and gets on the scope, on the barrel of the scope, the tube.
Yep. Well,
even cleaning it properly, you still get, that stuff is corrosive.
Yes, it's very corrosive.
And my scopes are kind of starting to...
You can start to see it?
I won't say deteriorate, but they're looking dull.
Oh, okay.
And I clean them and
starting
clean
to eat away at the finish.
Yeah. So scope companies, come up, let's make something that's not so corrosive to the black powder.
Or another thing they could do, and they got this on cars, is like almost like a rock guard.
Mm-hmm.
Like the bottom half of the scope.
Put a shield on it?
Put a guard on there, so it's dull. It's the same color as the scope, but it's a dull.
And it can be replaced.
Yep.
That'd be nice.
There you go. Nice. Tip for the industry.
There you go.
And by the way, we said it first here.
That's right. All right, that'll do it for this minicast. This episode was brought to you by PSE Archery,
Black Eagle Arrows,
Cabela's,
Antler Action,
Spot Shooter Archery,
Tom's Custom Turkey Calls,
Family Traditions Tree Stands,
and Badass Slingshots.
Thanks for listening, and join us again here next week. Until then, remember, as we always like to say, if you're out on the water or in the woods, shoot straight and be safe. Until next week on the Up North Journal.